so excited for today's chat because we're creating history on many, many levels on this show today, because for the very first time we have German athletes on this show. We've obviously had Germans on the show, but never German athletes, and two athletes who are about to make their Olympic debuts in Milano Cortina in just a matter of weeks' time in the great sport of figure skating, and to be more specific, in the great discipline of ice dance. I love ice dance. To me, let's be honest, it is the best discipline in all of figure skating because it's the most fun and people get the most out of it. I am so thrilled to welcome to the program Benjamin Steffan and Janse Van Rensburg. Benji and Jenny, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you both on Off the Podium.
Hi, Ben.
Thank you very much. Pleasure being here.
It's a pleasure having you on. Jenny, how was the pronunciation of the name? Did I completely butcher it or did I sort of get there slightly?
To be fair, sometimes I don't even get it right.
Okay.
So I got it from my husband, but it's Janse Van Rensburg.
Okay, good. All right, because I have a very bad reputation on this show of getting names very badly wrong. So I like to practice beforehand, and I practice your name a bit. So, you know, just to make sure that we were getting there. But we're recording this sort of a week into 2026. I know at the time of recording this, you're a day away from getting your German Olympic team uniforms. Things are getting quite close right now. So I just want to start this interview by asking you both, how are you feeling? Because in a month's time, you're going to be in Italy. You're going to be making your Olympic debuts. How are you both feeling right now?
Yeah, so it's a great. I think it's somewhere between very excited and it all feels a little unreal. Because honestly, now Jenny and me are skating together for 10 years. We've both been a lot longer in figure skating than those 10 years. And now finally making such a big step and reaching a goal that's been hovering above our heads ever since we started skating together. It kind of gives, I think I speak for the both of us, it gives us goosebumps and it's very exciting.
Jenny,
yeah, especially like as a little kid's dream, it was always like, making the Olympic team. And yeah, I'm like, I told my husband already, we made a countdown, and every day he even tells me, 2 more nights, 2 more days, 2 more sleeps. So tomorrow it's gonna be second Christmas for me.
Yeah, it's obviously one of these moments that you get to, because I always like to generally ask our guests, and this is a trickier question, ask you both, like, is there a moment you feel like an Olympian, you know, whether it be the day you're announced, it might be the day you rock up to the rink in Milan, maybe tomorrow when you get the uniform. I mean, Jenny, on that sort of saying second Christmas, has this sort of been one of those moments where you're going like, okay, well, what shirt am I going to wear on this day? Like, watch out, because it's obviously you get a lot of kit, don't you, when you get an Olympian? So
Yeah,
you're going to be
do.
trying a lot of clothes on tomorrow and making sure they all look pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's like, I think for me, it's like being in like a team, like a unit. This is like where it starts, but I think I never been to the Olympics, so I can't tell now, but I think we will have a lot of great experience.
And Benji, for yourself, like sort of, is this similar to Jenny? You've been sort of having these little moments counting down, and sort of the uniform day is kind of one of these big moments for you.
Yeah, well, that's definitely a big moment. But there has been several steps going there. It all started really with the World Championships last March, because that's the International Skating Union's official qualifying for the Olympic Games. So that's where all the countries are able to qualify. And with us performing pretty well there, that was the first major step where we got the spot for Ice Dance Germany. So the ticket was there, it just didn't have our name written on it. And then throughout the entire first half of the season, which is over now, we had our nationals in the middle of December. It was the last competition of the national qualifying modus. So each competition was a little bit of a step towards these games and towards the qualification, because you finally want to see your name written on that ticket, metaphorically speaking. But yeah, so it's all really a step-by-step process that's just lasting super long, and sometimes it's very thrilling and sometimes it's just very exhausting, if I might say.
Yeah, and it's also, I can imagine, because there's always that uniqueness, isn't it, with the majority of sports, particularly in the Winter Olympics, that, as you said, you secure your quota spot by your performance at an event. And even though you're the ones who have done that, and you're, reigning 4-time at that point, German champions, going to be a 5th-time champion, that it's looking pretty good that you guys are going to secure that spot. You just don't properly know until that day that it happens. I'll start with you, Benji, on this one. Like, what is that period like? Because you guys know you've done everything in your power. You've achieved everything. You've done this, but like, you still know that like there's stuff that could happen that you can't get it. So that period between the spot and then getting your names confirmed, is that incredibly nerve-wracking?
Yeah, in a way it is. Well, with that period being that long as it is, because it's basically half of a season, the entire summer preparation after the previous season, I think you tend to kind of get into a routine because you do the same thing you do every season. You prepare your new programs, you kind of try to get into the flow, and then you start skating, you do the first competition. Of course, it's all a little bit like hovering above your head. But there's moments where it's more and where it's less nerve-wracking. But I think that's a big part of the sport. That's what I personally love about sports in general, about our sport, that you have to perform on the day. You have to be there. You can do everything as good as the world champion. If you don't perform in a competition, it means nothing, right? So that's the most thrilling part. So I think speaking about getting your name confirmed on that ticket, I think it's one of those where, of course, you're capable of doing this. You've got the results, so you earned the quota spot. But still, you have to perform and you have to stay sharp and you have to be there on the day of the competition. So I think it's exciting.
Yeah, and on that, Jenny, I'll sort of maybe go to you with this one. Is it also a case that you also get just sick of people asking you? Because I know we've got a lot of people on this show who sort of, they know that they're all but there. They've got the spot, but it's not being confirmed. So people are always, so you're looking forward to it. You're going. You're like, we'll wait and see. Like it's sort of that period where everyone's always asking you that question.
Yes, I mean at the very end it was kind of clear, like end of the first half of the season it was kind of clear. But I think I still didn't believe it. I still don't believe it that we got the spot. But yeah, I think there was like so much emotions, especially after our like nationals, which was at home. So it was in our Oberstdorf ice rink where we always practice daily, which I grew up. So I was born in Oberstdorf, and nice. To secure now even the ticket, I think at the very end of our free dance, so at the ending pose, I got so emotional. I cried like a baby. But I think it was just all the pressure just came loose. And it was 10 years of work, even more. I'm standing on the ice since I'm 6 years old. And I'm 32 now. So it's quite a long time. So it was a long way, a hard way, but everything is worth it and it pays off.
Well, I want to ask you both about those journeys into the sport because, Jenny, I believe you started as a solo skater and sort of transitioned into ice dance. I'll start with you. Sort of what was it as a 6-year-old that sort of drew you into figure skating?
Actually, my mom, I think she watched Katharina Witt, like also a former German single skater and Olympic champion. And and then I saw it on the ice and I was so attached to those dresses, the sparkling dresses and stuff. And I said to Mom, I really want to try it. And this is how I started. Yeah, and I stick to this. But I also, at the same time, I was skiing.
Wow.
So I had to make a choice. But I think I was, from my structure, my body structure was more a figure skater at the end.
Kind of works out all right for you. What sort of skiing were you doing?
I was actually racing.
Oh, wow.
I started racing and it didn't have my glitter sparkling dresses on, so
don't quite have that. Don't quite have that in skiing, unfortunately, to sort of do that. And what was it then about the transition that you went from singles and sort of made you decide to switch to ice dance?
So I switched to ice dance pretty late. So I was 20 when I switched.
Wow.
I did all my triple jumps except the triple axel. I was even in the senior class in like singles, but I changed because of a knee injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I still didn't wanted to quit. And like, I mean, a lot of coaches came to me and they already said like, Jenny, try ice dancing when I was already 16. But I was like, nah, I don't want to be dependent on a man.
No one does.
So
it's fine.
I said like, nah, I'll give it a try. And then it's like this teenage, teenage girls. And I said, I would try and I would try, but it didn't work out. And then I switched.
Yeah.
With 20.
Yeah.
Pretty late.
Benji, I'm going to get to you. Trust me, this isn't all about Jenny, but I'm sort of intrigued with that switch comes in and they're sort of saying to you, try ice dance. Like, what is it about ice dance, say maybe over pairs, that people say try to recruit you? Like, is there much rivalry to try and recruit solo skaters into ice dance versus the pairs, if that makes sense?
I think a lot of coaches already told me that I'm like very capable of like how you say I can like I'm a better skater like in sorry Benji, was heißt ausdrucksstark nochmal?
Oh, this is great.
Yeah. It's a good question. Very expressive skater.
Expressive skater.
Please do more of that. By the way, I just speak no German, but I love it when our guests have to like translate my questions. It's fantastic. Please, more of that.
We do help each other sometimes. Every once in a while, you get stuck with translation.
I'm going to try more for that now. I've got myself a challenge.
No, so I was always like an expressive skater, and I think the thing was then like skating with a partner, I can just like put all my strength into this, and I don't have to think about the jumping and stuff, which like in competitions I was always worse than in like training. So I was like a training champion, but it was not in competitions I always failed.
Interesting.
So
okay. I've never heard it described that way. That's very interesting. I didn't realize it. Yeah, that's fascinating.
I mean, it does exist. Like some people are always like champions in training. They always succeed their jumps. But as soon as they're like in competitions, there's like switch and you can't do anything what you just practice the whole time.
Mm.
So, and now having a partner standing next to you, you're sharing the ice, you're sharing the passion was so much relieving. It felt so great. I could just be me and express myself.
Fantastic. Benji, I believe you started when you went in figure skating in ice dance. That's where you started. But I also believe you were a bit of an ice hockey player. Now, how do you go from ice hockey into ice dance? Because I don't really see a lot of connections unless I'm watching the Mighty Ducks, but I'm Australian, so of course I'm watching the Mighty Ducks. So
yeah, no, Mighty Ducks, one of my favorite childhood movies, definitely.
Good answer.
Big supporter of it. My journey into ice dance was not as straightforward as Jenny's. As you said, I started playing ice hockey when I was about 7 years old. And if you ask me how I made the step from ice hockey to ice dance, I don't know. I honestly don't know. It just sort of happened. So I started playing ice hockey, and my younger sister at that time wanted to do some sports. So naturally, back at the rink where I started playing hockey, there was a figure skating rink. And like Jenny said, the sparkling dresses, they attract girls. Everybody wants to be the ice princess. So did my little sister, and she started figure skating. And back at the time, I would always be done early with practice, and I would go to the figure skating rink and wait for my sister to be done. There was this one coach, Monika Scheibe. She was a pairs coach, and she kept on trying to convince me to try figure skating. She said, "We need boys." She wanted to have another pair skater. She was a pairs coach. She said, "Try it. You have to try it. It's amazing. You can see the world. You'll travel." Whoa, whoa. And me being 7 years old, I said, "No, there's no way. Ice hockey is so much cooler. I'm not gonna do figure skating." I think some days she got to me, and I tried it, and I stuck there. And then everything sort of fell into place because at the same time, there was a former ice dancer. She placed Podium on Europeans back in the day, who came back to the rink where I skated at, and she started coaching there. and she kind of went to the rink and picked a couple of kids and said, "You're doing ice dance with that girl, and you're doing ice dance with that girl." So I was one of those boys who got picked, and so prepared for our first competition, and we won that competition, I believe.
Wow.
That's when 10 years old, and then I kind of got addicted to that. Yeah.
Nice. And you did skate with your sister for a while too, if I'm not mistaken, as well, right?
I did. Sister was my second partner, so that's the Ice Princess Sparkling Dresses sister.
Yep.
So after my first partner, we skated for about 2 years together. I started skating with my sister, and we had quite a long time throughout our entire junior career, going to first junior Grand Prix, going to the first bigger stages. So it was very exciting, also very challenging to share that with a sibling.
Yeah, I can imagine.
At some points, you're much closer. Like, I'm going to say this, which point to pick where it hurts, So, but yeah, after we were done with school, my sister said she wasn't in love with the sport anymore. She wanted to quit, and I always knew that I wanted to see how far it would bring me. So then I went to Switzerland for a year, skated there in Zurich before teaming up with Jenny and going to Oberstdorf.
Beautiful. So then that brings me to my next question. Beautifully transitioned there, Benji. How did you two meet? When was the first meeting? And when did you both go, all right, this is cool. Let's team up. Let's make this a pair. Let's do this. I'm going to open-ended. You can chime in. I want to see. You might both tell the story differently because often people do with their first meetings.
Well, let me start and then Jenny can take over. The figure skating world is very small. So it's kind of a everybody knows everybody type of world, So, of course, we met throughout the competitions, Germany, and still I was skating with my sister, then with the partner from Switzerland. But we became friends, and we knew each other for quite some time. And then we both came to the point where Jenny was already ice dancing. She had a partner back then who also decided to quit. And we came to a point where we both were looking for a partner. So take over if you like, Jenny.
So, but the best part about this, that we met, or like how we decided to give it a try, was in the army.
Right.
So in Germany there is like a sports soldier, like a support. So basically we get our money or like our salary to do our training, which is a very good funding, I would say. So we had our basic education like in the army, and I think we both I was like already single that time, looking for an ice dance partner. And Benji was still in Switzerland, but was not happy in Switzerland. And then we were like, I think it was like, were we not outside shooting guns? And then our educator, he came like to us, so wait, you are looking for a partner, you're not happy in Switzerland, and you're both Germans in the German army, so team up. So
at that point, yeah.
You've got guns in your hands, you're not going to say no at that point, so
That's true. You don't say no to anybody with a gun in their hand.
No, that's very smart by that coach to do that. That was very smart.
The educator said it, and we're like, wait a minute, maybe he's onto something, and we gave it a try, and I think it felt great from the start. So yeah, we decided to give it a go.
Wow, I was going to ask about that sort of with the sports soldier thing, because we've had a few sort of Americans from the army on, and sort of they've talked about how the U.S. Army is supporting them. So I was going to ask you about that. Like, is that a common sort of program amongst German Olympians? Sort of that there's a lot of support out there, and I'm guessing both winter and summer it kind of goes into both as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does. So the way it's structured in Germany is the military has one part, the police has one part, and the border patrol has another part.
Oh wow!
It all depends on the sports that you're doing, but what they're offering is that they will employ you, and you get a salary as if you were a police officer, a soldier, a border patrol officer, for doing your practice. It does work a little bit different with the police because At the same time, they get police training. So once they are done with the sport, they are actually police officers. With the military, you have to do some pro forma courses, like a basic military education, then you'll do a staff sergeant, like sort of like that. But generally speaking, they don't touch you. Like we get to do our training, our competitions, we get the salary, and then it's a very great way, because many sports, just like figure skating, are not funded very well. So it gives a lot of athletes a chance to do what they love on a level that they need to do it to reach a goal like the Olympic Games.
Yeah, fantastic. Because it's sort of one of those ones that whenever we get athletes on from countries that we, in your case, have never had German athletes on the show, or sort of countries maybe where we're not overly familiar with how structures work, particularly with, as you're saying, like sports funding and things like that. It's always fascinating to hear how that works. Because that was another question I was going to ask, is sort of like the figure skating scene in Germany. Obviously you've got a pretty decent pairs couple going out there as well. And you mentioned Katharina Witt. I think German figure skating, I think of Katharina, of course, but like sort of, what's kind of like figure skating generally over? My very broad question here I'm asking you, but like, I guess sort of the figure skating scene in Germany in general, maybe, Jenny, if you want to jump in there, or open-ended question.
I think my personal opinion is that the TV made figure skating unpopular.
Okay.
Is that the right word? Then especially like also the judging system got changed, where for the audience like who doesn't know figure skating, it's they can't tell like why did they scored now better than the others, like where the old system with the A and B scoring was so much, or like, well, yeah, it was the A and B scoring, where they judged just the technical, and then with the B scores, it would have been just like how it looked.
Mm-hmm.
And it got so complex where, it was like for the audience, it's not interesting anymore. And I think by TV also, like they don't show it even like in the normal TV anymore. And then people, and like especially like older age, they will broadcast it like somewhere, live stream like online, but how could they find it?
Mm-hmm. And it always helps, doesn't it? Sort of the coverage. I mean, we find that a lot in this country with any winter sports, to be fair, unless, you're a Scotty James winning gold medals in snowboarding, or sort of a Jakara winning gold in the moguls. Like, it's sort of the majority of our winter athletes get no attention except for right about now. So it's sort of, particularly I find that like extra fascinating because, Germany, one of the great, not just summer, but winter nations, you're up there with a US, a Russia, a China, you're good at both the winter and the summer Olympics. So I sort of always like to kind of find out where the scenes are for each sport. I mean, Benji, you've similar sort of thing there to Jenny, I guess, kind of in where you think sort of it's all going right now in Germany with figure skating?
Yeah, well, like you said, Germany is pretty big on sports in general. I think a lot of sports like figure skating, like there's countless, also summer sports, swimming, there's cycling. They're missing a lot of attention, and that's what the development over the past 20 years in figure skating has shown, that the national championships now, they have, let's say, 6 men and 5 women competing, where 20 years ago it would have been 16 men and 35 women, So it tends to get less and less. But I think there's at the moment already people who are trying to counter this development. And I think it's very important that also we as kind of, I don't know if it's fair to say, but I think in some way for the younger athletes and for the kids, we're also role models. So I think in some way it's our responsibility to make the sport attractive and approachable to other kids, and kind of create an inviting atmosphere to kind of counter this movement where people move away from sports that are not broadcast 24/7.
I was going to say, once you guys win the gold next month, then every young
That'd
German
be
kid,
awesome. Of course, that would be a big help.
yeah, skates on their feet. They're going out there. They're crazy for it. I believe though, like sort of touching on where you're from, Jenny, though, that like is this not one of the best training facilities or the best training facilities in the world almost for figure skating? Like this is a very revered area where you're from in Oberstdorf, that this ice is very well revered. So that's obviously a benefit I can imagine for German skating.
Oh yeah, absolutely. If you always ask like figure skaters, and like we have like a big competition always like beginning of the season, it's like the Neighborhood Trophy. And they always happy to come to Oberstdorf. It, like even there's a selection I know like from the Americans. And the federation like tells them who is going, and they always want Neighborhood Trophy. Because it's we have the best ice, we must say, and I'm very proud of that because I'm from Oberstdorf. I was literally born in Oberstdorf, even if you can't tell. No, my mom is from the Philippines and my dad is German.
Right.
So, but yeah, no, Oberstdorf has the best ice, and yeah, everybody's saying that.
That's good. That's what we like to hear in that. And another thing, and I'm going to thank Inga. I know she's on the line, but she gave me a couple of good little facts before this interview to read off. But I mentioned on the German Championships, 5-time reigning German champions, and I believe now you sort of consider that one for every single ring, basically, of the Olympic rings. So, you know, like, I mean, I didn't do my big introduction where I sort of went over your resume, but I mean, 5-time reigning German champs. That's a nice thing to have on your resume, I can imagine. Maybe, Benji, I'll start with you for that one. But like, I mean, those sort of things when you sort of are going to reflect on your career are obviously going to look very, very good, that you have been the best ice dancing pair in Germany now for half a decade. Let's say it that way. That sounds a lot better, doesn't it?
Yeah, that sounds very nice if you put it that way. Yeah, like you mentioned, we kind of made it a thing to say each title is for one of the Olympic rings. We have a ritual, I would say, where before every competition, we hold each other's hands. Just before we get announced, we stand on the ice already. And we just, you know, kind of to take the nerves down a little. There's a couple of things we just say like in the moment. And that was one thing that I believe I said at Nationals to Jenny. I said, let's perform, let's get our heart out. If we make this, if we get this, this does not only mean that the ticket has our name written on it, but it also means that we have a national title for each of the Olympic rings. And I think that, having said that, there was a little moment before skating that both of us, we felt very overwhelmed. So
in what way?
I think
sort of what was it?
That made it real, you know?
Okay. Sort of that was at that moment. And Jenny, does that mean now that with 5, I mean, do you keep like, I don't know if you get like a trophy for it as well as medals, but like now that you got 5, do you get 2 each and then you sort of have to share the 5th? You've got to win a 6th one now, so you got 3 each essentially, like kind of spread it between the pair of you.
Yeah. I mean, you want more, but on some point we have to stop too. Yeah. Well, there's a saying, you always have to stop when it's the most fun. But no, we don't want to think about that yet. We were actually making fun of that, like, hey, you know, it's actually really fun right now, like being on this high level, and like, hey, let's continue, come on, let's do another 4, like another circle. You know,
you're still kicking butt out there, you know. It's sort of like, you know, like it's sort of not like you're just dropping off or anything. I mean, 5 in a row, I mean, come on, that's dominance if you ask me. So, you know, that's kind of,
we might just keep going, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just keep going with that. I mean, when it comes to sort of training, one thing I'm always fascinated by about, be it pairs or ice dance, is just obviously the on ice stuff is very important. Clearly that's going to be what gets you the scores and everything. But in terms of the off ice, so the mental side of it, like what can you two do to kind of help the mental preparation? Because you've obviously got to know each other quite well. You've obviously got to be able to trust each other quite well in competition. So is it a simple case of you just go bowling? You go to the beach or something like that sort of things? Or like, are there specific things that you guys can do to really kind of, you know, solidify the mental aspect of what you both have to do out there? I'm going to open the end up. You can both jump in and answer however you like.
Yeah, that's a very nice question. I think one thing that helps us, or that has helped us from the beginning, from the get-go, is that we're friends. There is the ice dance couples that are not friends. and everybody deals with those nerves in their own way. But I think that is one thing that has helped us from the start. We're friends. Yeah, we skate together, we train. There's a lot of emotions, good and bad emotions as well. But at the end of the day, we can both go out, take our partners and have a nice dinner together. And then the other thing that really helps is routines and rituals. We do have a lot of them going into competition, especially. So I think this is our way to kind of support what is going on in training and to feel in the right place of mind for competition.
Jenny, don't you have anything to add on that, or yeah?
No, I totally agree with Benji. Friendship is a big part, but other part is like that like Benji mentioned, like our life partners, like my husband, Benji's wife, and also his little son.
Congratulations on that, by the way.
Not a little son.
You're a dog mom, so yeah,
I'm a dog mom.
Yeah, okay.
So he's like my mental support.
It counts.
Well.
I mean, you probably saw my cat in the background. If you got an animal, it counts.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah, so it counts. Yep.
No, it does. For me, especially like the dog, I think my husband tried to like help me out. So he took the dog. So my husband lives in the UK.
Right.
But he's South African.
Okay. But
works in the UK. So we have a long distance marriage, which is still okay. It works. We're not going on each other's nerve. But it is hard on some point. But he does support me a lot. And but one point, I think he tried to help me out with the dog so I can just put the focus more on training. But not having my dog here was even more stressful for me at the end. And I said, I will never do this again.
Well, he's often, you need something, right? Like, come on, like, you know.
No. I appreciated what he thought, like he was doing, and he was trying to help me, but I will never do this again.
Yeah. Can we see your dog? Is she sort of in like to be picked up, or?
Yeah.
We're always on board with the dog appearances. So
we do love the animals, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, here we go. Oh, is this a Cocker Spaniel? Is that?
Yes. Oh, a very big Cocker Spaniel.
Gorgeous.
He's just very sleepy right now.
Oh, it's gorgeous. I grew up with English Springer Spaniels, so I've got a big heart for Spaniels and such beautiful dog. What here's her name? What's their name?
His name is Geralt.
Geralt. Oh, hello, Geralt.
From The Witcher.
Okay. Geralt's very sleepy.
He got the golden eyes.
He's gorgeous, and he's looking like, Mum, put me down. I am tired.
Yes.
You disturb my sleep. He's going there. Benji, I mean, Jenny mentioned it. I believe, father in the last one, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I was watching coverage of one of your performances, and the commentators said that your son was born on the 17th of March, which is the day before my birthday. So great day to be born. Just want to say,
perfect. Yeah, it's a very good time.
St. Patrick's Day baby too. So I guess good luck. Is that right? Where it comes from? And how's that? Have you found being a father? Sort of like, has that sort of made everything that you're achieving out there, I guess, a lot more worth it now, because he's gonna grow up one day and see everything that his father's achieved, basically.
Yeah, it's been a very exciting journey so far. I think, if anything, that has helped me to put a focus in the right place. Being a father, being a husband, takes a lot of thoughts away from the problems on the ice, from the skating, from the competitions, and it sort of balances out. I think, just like Jenny said with her dog, you need something next to the skating. You can't always focus on that. That's just impossible. Not healthy too. So my family occupies a lot of my mind in the best way imaginable. Perfect. So yeah, being a father has helped me massively.
That's good. That's what we like. And I'm sure he'll listen to this one day and he'll go, thanks, Dad. I'm glad that you think that way. Just on the ice though. So world champs last year, you touched on that, obviously secures your spot. 16th. I watched the performance, by the way, and I'm a massive fan of the opera fan. Absolutely loved it. It was fantastic. So great song of choice there. But sort of, what do you go into the Olympics hoping to achieve? It's always a broad-ended question. Of course, you want to win the gold and sort of, go as far as you can. But I mean, sort of, what are you guys setting yourself a target for when it comes to the Olympics next month? I'll start with you, Jenny, on this one.
I think we just want to skate our 2 solid performances and just be happy and satisfied with ourselves. I think this is our main goal, and just to enjoy each minute, I think. I mean, for me, I don't know.
I can imagine Benji's going to have a similar. I can imagine Benji's like, "You're wrong, Jenny. No, this is what we want." I'd be a bit worried then if all of a sudden if that's what it's going.
Wrong. Absolutely. No, definitely not.
Whoa, I'm starting to rift here. Month out. I'm going to hang up.
No. I agree 100%. I think it's very easy to get lost in goals and in expectations. I think the most important thing is to enjoy the skating. We have 2 programs this year that we really feel that we can identify ourselves with, and I think the best thing that we could go for is just skating there and having fun with the programs, because that's ultimately what made them for. That's why we are skating. I think if we both didn't love the sport, we wouldn't do it, because you spend so much time, effort, money, everything on that. So after all, it's a passion thing. And I think this is our main goal, to just go out there, perform, and just enjoy it.
Have you had a chance to skate in Milan on the ice there yet, or will it be your first time getting to skate there?
Yeah, no, we have. There has been a test event last season. I believe it was in February.
Mm-hmm.
It was even called Test Skate Milano. So we've been on
Road to 26.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very nice rink. Obviously, the decoration is going to be a lot different, but the ice is nice, and we already touched ground there.
Good. At least that's a nice venue in Milan that they've finished. I mean, I don't know if the ice hockey players have got their rink built yet, but it's getting close, guys.
It's not. Yeah, they're.
Is it not even a meter shorter?
There's a lot of issues around it. I think I spoke to a journalist who said he was flying out there. I think the time of recording this, maybe this weekend for a test event. I'm thinking, is it ready? Are they going to be able to play there? I don't know. So.
To be fair, the one thing I gotta say is Italians in general are masters of making it work.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So the general Italian way is, it might seem very chaotic. Nothing is ready. Nothing is as it's supposed to be. But when you're there, it's ready. It works. And I think that's what I'm kind of expecting for the games as well, because there's been a lot of talks about the Luke track as well, about the ice hockey system, and it all seems very messy. I don't want to offend any Italians here, but it seems very Italian to me, and I'm expecting everything to be ready.
It's
just wonderful.
It's a traditional sport in itself to just always, every Olympics, thing's going to be ready. Like, it's always a thing. But from similar to what you're saying there, Benji, I've learned a fair bit about it. I've never been to Italy before, so when I'm there next month, I'm very intrigued. But from what I've been told about, how Italians are, there's a certain way of, being, and I'm like, okay, I'll remember that. So, it's always the fun talk. I mean, we're 6 years now out from an Olympics here in Australia, and that's a long time compared to a month for an Olympics. But people are already questioning here. Yeah. Oh, you're not going to be ready building that stadium in time. It's like, dude, we're 6 years out. We shouldn't even be questioning this. So it kind of. It goes in that way. Will you do plans to do the opening ceremony? Sort of, is that kind of on the cards, do you think, of something, and kind of going along those lines? And how far in ahead do you have to sort of inform the German Olympic Committee, hey, we're doing this? We want to, have you already told them essentially that you're doing the opening ceremony?
Our federation asked us if, besides that, our competition is quite early. Usually the ice dancers are always the last in the competitions. But this time in the Olympics, we're the first one.
Put the best up first, start up a high,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah. No, I think it's pretty good. That we could have enjoyed most of the Olympic. Maybe we can even watch some ice hockey or surroundings, because all the Olympic villages, they're quite far away.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can still travel, because it's still like 4.5 hours drive to the next Olympic village. It's
because it's all
quite a long journey.
Milan's just ice sports. I mean, isn't it? So you got obviously the
it's-
skating,
it's
Got the
ice
speed
sports.
skate
ice hockey,
there, the ice hockey, figure skating, curling
And
is
short
there as
track.
well.
If you want to watch any skiing or snowboarding, you've got to travel multiple hours away. I mean, it's sort of my first week's all in Milan. My second week, I don't even know the town I'm staying in, but it's getting me to some, bobsled and skiing, and I'll work it out when I'm there, essentially. So I guess that does make it challenging. If Jenny, you want to go trace the skiing routes to kind of go see something, and I guess Benji, you're fine with the ice hockey. It's probably right next door, right? So
Yeah. Well, it's convenient to watch. I definitely want to catch 1 or 2 games. For sure.
Exactly. It's huge in Germany, isn't it? I mean, I remember 2018, obviously, when you guys got the silver in the men's. But then I went to Germany recently, and I was talking to my friend there in Cologne, and he was saying like you're getting like 18,000 people to games. Like it's massive there at the moment, isn't it?
It's massive.
It's very different. It's very interesting. It's very different from ice hockey in Canada or the United States, where, of course, with the NHL is very big. It's the best league in the world, and the quality of game is. But Germany is picking up. Germany is picking up. Switzerland is picking up. Even Eastern Europe is picking up massively on their level of ice hockey, and the stadiums are full. The fans are wild, and the atmosphere is just crazy. So yeah, it's definitely a big thing in Germany, and it's getting bigger and bigger. So very exciting sport to watch as a German too.
No disrespect to your great sport, but it is my favorite winter sport, and I did make sure that I think the majority of my tickets that I got for the Winter Olympics are ice hockey. So I'm spending a lot of days.
I think. Don't feel offended by you saying that. I think,
and plus, figure skating tickets are very expensive. Can we point that out? Like, I looked them up again because I sort of going over my schedule, and I'm like, maybe figure skating. I'm in Milan for a week. I've got a free night. Look at this. I'm like, yeah, my opening ceremony ticket was cheaper than that. So the clothes will be nicer. Let's just say that. So.
Definitely. Well, we're very excited. Getting close tomorrow. We've seen pictures before.
It's a nice uniform. It's a very nice uniform. Yeah.
Really, really nice clothes. Very excited to get them.
I always love the German because you pictured Germany and I think black, red and yellow, or even like with the football outfits, it's generally white. But the German Olympic uniforms are always so colourful. Like summer and winter. We do a series on this show where we go over classic opening ceremonies, and we often comment on the German outfits because they're always the brightest of the bunch. And why? I don't know if you know the answer. Why is this? Why do the Germans have such bright uniforms? Because I love them. They're so good.
I think this year we make a surprise. We're not as colorful.
Okay, all right. But there's still some color, I hope.
Maybe
it's gotta be black, red, and yellow, or like gold. But I think we're this time a little bit neutral.
Okay. All right.
But I think the bright colors are maybe a bit of a challenge to the stereotype of Germans being very flat on the character and fun. So they said, you know what? Screw that. We just want to convince everybody of the complete opposite. We'll just get all the colors going in there and make.
Go on. Well, what wasn't the alternate football jersey, the pink one, your highest selling jersey of all time? Like, I mean, come on.
Or Bayern Munich, I think, the German team as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's got to do with Germany, but hey, they pulled it off. It's
exactly.
Cool. Why not?
There's a whole bunch of Germans out there going like, we want colors, like, come on. And then all of a sudden it comes out that way. So fantastic.
But then also the ladies then also buy it. So it was also like...
Yep, exactly. And you're sorry, no, go ahead, Benji.
Sorry, it's funny because then you have a stadium full of die-hard football fans that are, very... They're drinking their beer and they're all wearing pink shirts, and it's hilarious.
Hey, real men wear pink, right? That's what we like to say. So it goes. I mean, just actually on fans, one thing I did want to bring up is whenever we get figure skaters on this show, I absolutely love it because the diehard fans of figure skating are gonna fill in all the information on any website. Like there are some athletes where it's hard to get some information because maybe there aren't a lot of fans, or it's sort of a sport that doesn't get a lot of attention. But you go to your Wikipedia pages, your ISU pages, like there is so much information because I put that down to the fans because figure skating fans are rabid, right? They know everything about you, don't they? Like literally every detail, don't you? Like that, it's a blessing and a curse, I can imagine probably, that they know a little bit too much about you sometimes.
Figure skating fans are amazing. They're the best fans you could possibly have. They're diehard fans. There's a bunch of faces that you get to know because they are at every single event of the season, wherever you go, whether it's a small competition that's local or it's a major Grand Prix event or it's European Championships, World Championships, going to be the Olympic. The same faces are there in the audience. They have banners prepared. Your name is written there. So that's something that is crazy. It's really cool.
Crazy that you always see them.
Wow.
It's like a massive stadium, but you always see them.
You're like, no, there they are. They're up there. You see them.
I was like, hey, Benji. I was like, sometimes when we do like our circles, like on the right side, Benji, did you saw? They're here again. Like, wow, that's so cool.
Where are the most rabid? Like, I'm thinking Japan. Like, Japan seem to love their figures. Is it Japan that are the number one fans, or like where else are we looking at?
And it's definitely up there, yeah. But there's also a bunch of diehard Canadian and U.S. American fans that are just wild. There's one fan from Hungary too. She's super supportive on social media as well. So
wow, it's fantastic.
It's really fun.
It's the thing I find too, even like in Australia. Like, I mean, sort of, it was interesting sort of growing up when I used to watch the Winter Olympics as a kid. You know, sort of before when we would really be winning, you know, medals at Winter Games, that figure skating was always the one that they would be showing a lot, to the point where my mum used to complain like, oh, they're showing figure skating again. Like, there are other sports, like, you know, come on, do that sort of thing. But it does seem to be even in this country. I think I feel in Australia, a lot of the popularity in this country, like it would be for some countries, is because of Torvill and Dean. I think kind of, you know, we obviously with the, you know, the British side of our history, like Torvill and Dean just got like massive attention in this country. So much so they did a tour here, I think, a year ago still. And, you know, the crowds are selling out. So, but I mean, again, ice dance, right? So when Australians think of figure skating, what are we thinking of? Torvill and Dean, and we're thinking of ice dance. Let's say it again, the best form of figure skating, right?
Thanks for saying that. But yeah, Torvill and Dean, by the way, another team that was made in Oberstdorf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Torvill Dean used to train here in Oberstdorf with their coach, Betty Calloway. A little bit of history here. At the rink, we have a wall with the sort of like Walk of Fame, where there's a bunch of skaters that very big. But they've created history, for sure. They've done that early. They were very progressive and way ahead of their time too with their skating.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the other ones, I mean, we're sort of a co-Canadian Australian podcast, so we're obviously very fond of Tess Virtue and Scott Moyer. We had Tess on the show many years ago, and obviously what they did for ice dance, of course, in you know the 2010s and all the history that they created. But sort of when it comes to going back to my question about you know, where figure skating is in Germany and touching on getting the kids involved. How do we get the kids involved in ice dance? Because, I mean, going back to the whole glittery dresses and kind of the ice princess and all that sort of stuff, you know, is it two sides of it? They want to be kind of very like, you know, dainty and very, you know, formal out there, or is it, let's have fun? Because that's what ice dance is, right? Like, I mean, is that how you attract the kids to take up ice dance? I'm going to start with you with that one, Jenny, because like, you know, you started as a solo skater, you got into ice dance. It's a lot more fun than the solo stuff, right?
Yeah, I think this is the most part what they should have fun.
Yeah.
This is like, but that's a very hard question. How do we get to have more fun on the ice and to keep them? I mean, at the beginning, we always have like a bunch of skaters, but just like to keep them there. So yeah, but I think Benji is gonna be one day a coach.
Okay.
So maybe that's a better question for Benji.
How do we do it, Benji? How do we get the kids involved? Come on, let's work this out.
I think it's all really a matter of having them have a go at it. You know, there's so many things that can stop you from doing something, and in figure skating especially, if you give a pair of skates to a kid, they're not going to think about falling. They're not going to think about performing. They say, oh, cool. What's that? What can I do with that? And I think that's one thing that we should focus on, is just getting the kids on the ice and just kind of see where it goes. And even if it doesn't result in 20 kids going to figure skating, if one kid does, that's a win. So I think the way that I see it, is I want to get a lot of kids on the ice and just enjoy it. And even if it's just for a day, I think that would be amazing.
Great way of looking at it. I like that. And your son, you're getting this question a lot, but will he grow up being a figure skater, or is it just whatever he decides? He can maybe follow
whatever he decides.
Whatever he decides.
I will make a point to teach him skating.
Okay.
I think I owe him that as a figure skater.
Yep.
But I'm not going to force him into figure skating. You said it earlier. Oberstdorf is a great place to be active, especially winter sports. There's skiing, there's cross country skiing, snowboard, trail running, climbing, everything. And nice. I want, or me and my wife want our son to be able to try all of it and just go with whatever he enjoys and what he likes. But I will make a point of teaching my son how to skate.
Definitely. Good. Yes. No,
well, Auntie Jenny made sure he got already his first skates. Ice skates.
Okay. Nice. There you go. Auntie Jenny's the best. Yeah. Okay. All right. Good to know. I like that. Guys, we wrap up every interview with a set of 10 get-to-know-you style questions. These range from fun to we always close off with a very deep and meaningful one. But I'll direct it to both of you and then kind of maybe I'll alternate between who I ask it to first, essentially, along the way. So I'll start with you, Jenny, and then Benji, you can pick up afterwards. But the one thing that you never leave home without when traveling to a competition, and you're not allowed to answer your skates because that's kind of obvious.
Ooh, my neck brace.
Okay.
It's like the pillow. How do we call it? The neck pillow. Neck pillow.
Yep. No, that's a good one. They come in handy. Yes. Hopefully just on the plane, not on the ice. You don't want to be falling asleep out there. But, that makes sense. Benji?
I do have a little good luck charm that my wife gave me, so that's coming with me everywhere that I go.
Okay. Are you allowed to tell us what it is, or is it sort of just like your personal good luck charm?
Oh, I'm definitely. So it's like a little Japanese charm. So there's some writing. I don't even know what it means. I got it for my birthday. It was a good luck charm for the Europeans back then because I was away for my birthday. And so I got that as a present. And ever since I have it, I take it wherever I go or wherever I compete.
There you go. That was maybe next time you're in Japan or you get one of the Japanese fans, you can be like, what does this mean?
They will look at it and they'll be like, oh, it means tomato broth.
Exactly. Ruined. Don't need to wear it anymore.
I'll keep it a mystery forever. That's good.
That works. That's good. Any Japanese fans listening to this, don't tell him. Don't tell him what it is. Simple as that. Start with you for but I mean, it's kind of answered this one in a way, Benji. But a traditional superstition you follow before every big competition might just be your good luck charm. What do you have? I mean, you guys mentioned you sort of have little rituals beforehand. Is that sort of something that you would do?
We do. I think one that's worth mentioning is I don't know. It's a very stupid one, but I have to break in my socks. I have to skate in my socks that I wear in my skates for a certain amount of time because then they're broken in and I can skate well in them. It's a smelly matter, but that's good. If it's on screen, nobody has to smell it. So it's just
people listening don't know what Jenny just did there, basically. So that's perfectly on that sort of thing. Are his feet a bit smelly, Jenny, or is that like?
I think on some point Benji had to wash his feet in the ring still before he came home.
Wow, this is why you guys know each other so well, right? Like it's sort of back to that point I was making. You get to that. Did you have any yourself? Any?
I always put on the right shoe first, and then I put the left on.
All right. Okay, that was. Do you have? I don't know if I've ever asked this to a figure skater. Do you have like a lucky pair of skates? Like, do you wear the same skates all the time? Like, it's sort of. Is that how it works?
Yeah, I think through the season we always like have one pair.
Okay.
Sometimes we do change them, like in the middle, I think. So we have like two.
Right.
During the season.
Okay. Just sort of always equipment. We always like to find out in different sports how that works. Obviously, there are some you're changing a lot. Others you're not going to keep basically through the whole way. Have you ever had like a pair that you never wanted to get rid of? Like sort of this was like the luckiest pair of skates you ever had. You're like, no, I can't say goodbye to these, even though they're like, worn and ripped and torn probably.
I never had. You, Benji?
No, not a pair of skates. I had this pair of laces that were holding on for their dear life, and they made it through the entire last season, including the World Championships. in Boston. They've made it through the summer preparation, and then this summer they broke. So I was very sad when it broke. But other than that, I'm not very attached to my equipment.
You have a nice little funeral for the laces, maybe that can that can work. This one's an intriguing one because you obviously both in a sport where music is a very prominent part of it. But the question is a song that is on every one of your pre-competition playlists, no matter what. I might change that slightly. Like, is there a song that you both like, your favorite song you've performed to, or is there a song that maybe you're desperate to perform to? Like, this is a very different question to ask figure skaters. I'll start with you, Jenny, on that one.
I think we did perform once to Bob Marley. This Is Love.
Nice.
And I really love that song. That's why we chose it. And it was great to perform, but I couldn't hear and then like after, we switched in another song. I couldn't hear Bob Marley then for another 2 years. Now it's gonna be fine again.
Because you got to listen to that so many times in practice, right?
Yeah, we did.
Bob Marley, come on.
Yeah, you tend to dissect the song. So the way that we have our programs is we have 2 programs for the entire season. And the songs that we choose, they're not as they are played on the radio because, of course, we cut them, we stitch them together. And so whenever you hear a song that you've performed to for an entire year, when it's fresh, it's just too fresh because you know that song by heart. And then it seems wrong to listen to the original song because it's just not right.
Yeah.
Because you know part of the music, so it's very crazy. Yeah.
Wow. So with your Olympic songs, are they sort of the ones you've already been performing to, or can you change that up for the Olympics?
Well, you technically could change that up, but we don't do. I think nobody does. The programs that we've been skating to this season are going to be the ones that will be performing at the Olympics. So the first program is called Jungle Bill by, help me out, Jenny, what's the name of
Yellow.
Okay. Yellow. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a Swiss sort of pre-techno duo from the 90s. And the free dance is a Spanish song. It's called La Maza by Mercedes Sosa and Shakira.
Beautiful.
So a little bit of style. Those are going to be the 2 programs that will perform at the Olympics.
We'll keep an eye out for those, because I mean, that's probably the question you always get asked. The music, sort of always goes along that way. But again, ice dance, I just think of, more fun music. It's more up there and kind of, that's what entertaining, right? So it goes on that way. Yeah. We touched on the fans of your sport. Now, I'm intrigued for this one. The most unexpected or funny direct message you have ever gotten. I'm going to open-ended. I don't know if you get one on the team page or individually you get, some rabid fans sending you some crazy requests.
We had a competition in Osaka the past year, this season, where I don't know if Jenny got it as well, but I got a message from a hairdresser in Tokyo saying that he's a big supporter of figure skaters, and he invited me for a head massage and a haircut in his salon in Tokyo. So I was very surprised.
No, I got an invitation in a restaurant in Osaka, actually.
Wow. Not bad. Free haircut, free food, That's up there.
We get some weird influencer now.
we get some weird messages through that question, but that's some of the better ones. I like that. Okay, good one.
Knock on wood, there haven't been any super weird messages.
Okay.
I can't say.
Unless they're in the hidden one, you just don't want to read those. Yeah. Now, there's some sick people out there. I just want to say that based on the messages we hear that people get on this show. Speaking of weird, the weirdest thing that you've ever eaten at an international competition, and did you like it? Start with you on that one, Jenny.
Ooh, that's again in Japan. So it was already after the competition. I think we were in a bar and it was like insects.
Oh,
in a cocktail.
In a cocktail?
Oh, yeah, the cricket cocktail.
Oh,
yay!
Okay.
It was crunchy and actually good.
They're apparently really good for you, aren't they, crickets? Aren't they like very nutritious?
Yeah, very protein rich.
Yeah. There you go. Was that yours too, Benji? Or you have anything weirder or?
Yep.
That's definitely on up there. I'm gonna go with horse meat as well.
Okay.
We've had a competition where it's very traditional food, horse meat.
Yep.
It did taste very good, but it's just it didn't feel very right because Yeah.
Were you aware,
Order
like
for-
beforehand, like in terms of because like we had somebody on recently who didn't
Yes.
realize they ate dog until they were told afterwards. So like,
What? No way. No,
Yeah.
no. We were. I was aware. I was
Okay.
aware it was horse meat. And I wanted to try it because it was a specialty. And I do. I'm a big foodie, so I do make a point of trying to eat traditional food from wherever I am.
yep.
So I couldn't pass on that.
I'd love it if you come to Australia because our traditional food is going to be a meat pie or a dim sum. Like we've got nothing here that's like, you know, you're not finding an Australian restaurant in Germany. Let's be honest. So
I'm all for
No?
it. And I'm yet to come to Australia. We have never been. But
Yeah,
I'd be very-
unfortunately.
we need to bring some, you know, big events out here in terms of figure skating world because
Yes, please.
yeah, I think the one at the top of my head is I know when the last ever edition of the Goodwill Games happened in 2001, I know figure skating was randomly in those in the summers. We had Johnny Weir on and he talked about that.
Yeah.
And yeah, but we don't, it's just going back to my point, like we only really talk about it during the Olympics. So, I mean, our figure skaters that are heading off to Milano Cortina are getting a bit of attention right now in Australia, but it's, yeah, I can't even remember us ever having any international competition in this country. So
It's not even like the 4 continents, right? It
yeah,
was like,
yeah, possibly.
before COVID?
Most out.
Yeah, we need to change that, don't we? We need to change
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah, definitely. Let's change that. I'm all for it. We're all for it.
Yeah, we need Southern Hemisphere skating. Like, come on, like it should be a thing. You know, like we need to more of those ones. On the food level, Benji, I'm intrigued for you on this one. You said you're a bit of a foodie, but also Jenny and yours. Your ultimate guilty pleasure meal after a big competition. So once you guys are done skating, what are you going to eat? I'll start with you on this one, Benji.
Well, guilty pleasure is definitely McDonald's.
Oh yes, yes.
Just say it's a thing. So whenever I finish a competition, I'm happy. I'm done. I'm gonna order McDonald's.
Good.
Be it in the hotel room. I don't care. I'm gonna have McDonald's.
No shame. I love it when people answer McDonald's because I am a massive McDonald's nut as well. I think everybody should own it, and it's nothing better than just like ordering some good McDonald's after a, you know, wherever competition, drunken night, whatever it is, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sad it's not in the Village anymore. I'm sad they're not an Olympic sponsor anymore. Otherwise, you'd be lining up to get
True.
you know your nugget competition.
Yeah, they were always like you could always like get it at the Olympic Village.
And they used
True.
to, the amount of stories I'm hearing on this show through people who would do the how many nuggets you can eat. And I think we found out that our Australian swimmer, I think, got to like 80 something nuggets in Athens. That has never been beaten.
in a row?
Yeah, in one sitting. So
Once that is massively impressive.
that is a lot of nuggets. You would hopefully not swimming the next
A
day.
lot of nuggets, yes.
Jenny, is yours McDonald's as well? Do you have a different one?
No, actually Benji knows it. So after each competition, I'm gonna always search to get me a red velvet cake.
Oh, yes. Good answer. Okay. Yum. And where's the best one
It
you've ever had?
doesn't-
Is there a good place that you've gotten a good red velvet cake?
Ooh, actually the UK has a good one, and I'm very excited to be in the UK next week
So
for
you're
the
there
European
next week, right?
Championship.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah,
It's the only reason
I'm
she's
going
going,
for that.
Benji. She's not going to compete. She's
Yeah.
going to get the red.
my husband is there
That's
too.
okay.
Ooh.
If it's for the red velvet cake, I can. You know.
I'm seeing it, Jen. Like you're ranking it. What 3 things you're looking forward to in the UK? Red velvet cake, husband, competing. That's yeah,
and a proper brew.
and a proper brew. Yes. Or if you like good brew, Australia, we've got good coffee. So you know,
Yeah.
just pointing that out there as well. But you're about to go to Italy, probably the best place in the world for coffee.
Oh, yeah.
So you know, looking at that, if you could swap sports for a day with another Olympian, what event would you choose, and how do you think you would go? Start with Jenny for this one.
Ooh.
And it can be
that's
summer
a
or
good
winter.
one.
So if you're sick of cold, you can choose summer if you like, or if you have another winter sport.
Oh, that's a hard one. No, I think I still stay with the Winter Olympics,
Mhm.
and I go for Nordic combined.
Ah, yes. I love Nordic combined. Yes.
Oh, that's cool. That's a cool choice.
Unfortunately, the ladies are still, it's not Olympic yet.
Yeah, that's
And I
true,
hope
isn't it?
they
Yeah.
are, yeah.
Yeah.
I still hope they will be Olympics one day.
I have tickets to Nordic combined, and it's one of these weird
Oh,
things.
amazing.
Because it's like I'm a massive fan of sports that incorporate multiple sports. So I love modern pentathlon in the Summer Olympics. I love, that's why I love Nordic combined. You know, even biathlon, technically, it's skiing and shooting. So even that's technically two sports. So it's just, it's such a fascinating sport that can combine multiple sports. So
yes, exactly.
I'm on board. You're the first to answer Nordic combined. I love that answer. Good one. Benji, you're not going to, sorry, Benji, you're not going to top that, but you go ahead.
No, I can't top that. I'm very sorry. No, if I was going to come up with any other Olympian, I would go for Summer Olympics. I would go for maybe sailing. I could offer to be dead weight on the boat because I know nothing about sailing, but it's a very fascinating sport to me. It's very intriguing to watch. So I'd love to be part of that, but there's nothing much that I could offer to bring to the team other than my body weight.
Hey,
I'm going to be full.
No disrespect to sailors, but I'm sure that would be useful in some form. I mean, we like to make fun of a 4-man bobsled because there's 2 people in that bobsled aren't doing anything except just, going on for a free ride. So literally sailing probably can be the same. So,
I'm here's to hoping.
Yeah. Hey, look, once you get that gold Milano Cortina, you might feel like a change. So, the German Sailing Federation, if they're listening, call up Benji.
I'll start sending out emails to different sailors.
Do it. I'm sure there's some countries out there that could desperately use some sailors, so you never know. If your Olympic journey were a movie, what would the title be and who would play you? Only that open-ended. You might be able to workshop this together.
Oh, that's a good question.
Wow.
Yeah. We usually get ChatGPT to help us on this one, but I've left this one open-ended today.
I always would love to be played by Ben Kingsley because he's an amazing actor. He's one of my favorite actors. He'd have to get a wig for that one, because, but I think he could pull it off.
Yep.
So that would be the actor that's going for me.
I see that. I can see that working. Yeah.
What about you, Jenny?
Ooh, that's a very hard question.
I'm glad I asked one at least in an interview. That's good.
I think, I don't know, randomly I thought about like a man who's playing me.
Hey.
Like a man role.
2026, people can do whatever they want, right? So,
Yeah, that's cool. Of course.
So then Henry Cavill.
Oh, yes. On the that man can do anything. Let's be honest.
Okay. I don't need to know the title or the plot of the movie. If it's a movie with Ben Kingsley and Henry Cavill playing an ice dance team, I'd be paying
my goodness.
the ticket.
Hey, we're on board, right? Blades of Glory 2, but like... I don't know if that's a title, but stop it.
I think the title could be something like, let's stick to the Blades of Glory. It could be something like Blades of Persistence.
Blades of Persistence. Ooh, that sounds good. I'd watch that movie. Yeah. Okay.
I would too.
Yep. All right. I'm writing that down. We'll get a mock poster made up and we'll put that up on our social media. I'm usually more well prepared. I usually have this done. But no, we'll have it. You'll see it. We'll tag you in it. You'll love it. There you go.
All right. I'm looking.
Yes.
Good. All right. That's bug of the Olympics. You're only looking forward to that poster. That's all you want to see. I always love this question just because it might be a question I've already asked you during this interview, but we're about to find out. The one question you're tired of being asked and the one that you wish people would ask you instead.
Ooh.
Oh.
It's like leaving it open-ended now.
That's nice. So there's always this conversation that you're having with people who don't know anything about figure skating when you tell them you're a figure skater. And I actually have to admit that I love this question, but it's a very funny one. It's if they look at you and they say, "Oh, cool! Can you do any tricks? Like, can you skate backwards or can you spin one place super fast? Like, what's your favorite trick to do?" And it's just such an amazing question that you get asked over and over again.
Fantastic. Do a flip. Are people probably yelling that out to you, are they? Or
something along the lines of that. I think the one question that I'm sort of tired of getting asked is if me and Jenny are dating, because that's it's kind of a stereotype that sticks with the skating, and not that I'm against it, but I think we're both.
I was a good man, baby.
Definitely.
I was, it's funny. I was the question I wanted to ask was, do people always assume you're together? That was going to be my version. The reason I don't generally ask that is the only time I ever went out of my way to ask that question to a pair who were in a sport. Like we had a very good friends as a mixed doubles curling pair from Australia. And I'd interviewed them many times. And I knew they weren't a couple. I knew that they had their own partners. But it was some weird question that for some reason no one had ever asked them. And I would have assumed that was the first question people asked them. So they said like, Ben, no one's ever asked us that on a question. Ask us so we can confirm this. Like, no, we are not together. And I'm like, how has nobody asked you that? Like, it's kind of like, come on. So, yeah.
I think it's the sport. I think it's the sport. Curling is not the...
True.
Let's put it that way. Figure skating or ice dancing can be romanticized very quickly.
Yeah.
Right? So...
It's a bit more awkward if you're still skating with your sister. So,
if you can ask that question, definitely could be a little awkward.
Jenny, do you have any to add on that, or it's sort of similar to what?
I think one question. So I love our coach. But sometimes he always asks us, like, why are you doing like this? Why are you doing this mistake? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not want to do this mistake. I'm like, I'm not doing it on purpose.
If we had the answer, we wouldn't need you.
Exactly.
Going into stereotypes, we talked Italian. Is your coach German? Is he German?
No, he's not.
He's very Russian.
Oh, right. Okay, well, there you go. I was going to say that sounds very German, but also sounds very Russian while he would ask you a question.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I had the accent of my coach. Sorry.
He has a thick Russian accent, and he looks at you and say, oh, why you do like this? I don't know.
Oh, brilliant. If I was ever an athlete, I feel like I would want like a Russian or a German, like a coach who I know is just going to like say it how it is. Just like
straightforward. That's what you're getting from our coaches. Well,
yeah. Whereas Australians are probably a bit too chill. We're just like, well, you wish. Honestly, an Australian coach would probably be like, that was shit, Jenny. Do it again. That's probably how an Australian coach is probably going to tell you. Going on that level. The last question for you guys. The one lesson you have learnt from losing that has shaped you more than winning. The deep one. Let's start. Benji, you can go with that one first.
I love that question. What losing has taught me is to keep going, because it's so easy to focus on winning, to focus on goals. Whenever it doesn't happen, whenever it doesn't work out, you're heartbroken, but it isn't the end of things. And ultimately, whenever we have lost, whenever I have lost, and kept on going, it just got better and better at some point. Not right away. It takes some time, but losing has taught me to keep going, definitely.
Great answer. I love that.
Very nice,
you gave the winning answer before Jenny in that, but Benji might have given the winning answer in that. Can you top that at all, Jenny? No pressure.
I think if I just look back, my very first competition in like single skate, I was like this 7-year-old girl, had like a Bavarian competition, or like an international competition, my very first one. And I got lost, and I didn't want to go to the victory ceremony. And my dad asked me like, why you don't want to go? And I was like, yeah, I'm lost. And he was like, it's totally fine, because the last one's gonna be the first. And that's how I kept going.
Nice.
And a couple of years later, I was first.
There you go. And now you're about to go to the Olympics. So,
Exactly.
That's how it works. That's why, again, we always ask that last. We get those answers. They kind of close it up. Guys, it has been such an honor and a pleasure to chat with you. Obviously, wishing you all the very best for next month. We'll definitely get you back on afterwards. We can learn about your experiences and everything along those lines. But for people who want to follow journeys, where can they, social media, individually, team, like plug whatever you like right now for people to follow you in between now and the Olympics.
So you can follow at Jenny at Janse on Instagram, and we also have a team account. It's Rensburg Steffan Traumfabrik. So it's Dream Factory. That's like.
I just want you to say
name.
it like that all the time, because if I said it like that, it's not going to sound that
Traumfabrik.
good. I'm not even going to try that. Trust me.
So yeah.
Maybe you can link those, because not the easiest thing to spell out when you're not a native.
No, I think I will. That's a very good idea. And Benji, you've got your Instagram as well. People can follow yours as well.
Yeah, my Instagram is Benji_ST. So I'd be happy for a follow as well. So, we'd love to take a lot of people on our journey.
We will tag that. We'll definitely do that. And as I said, guys, we'll get you back on because I'm so intrigued to hear about everything and how you find the Olympics and all that sort of stuff. But we'll be rooting for you. I'll stand outside the stadium. I'll wear the shirt. Won't be able to afford a ticket, but I'll be like, yeah, you go, guys. Woo!
We look out forward for you.
Please do. Look out for the random Australian dude in a German shirt. Not many of us there, I can imagine, probably in Italy. But guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate your time on the show today.
Thank you, Ben.